Shalom, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for this significant update on ORT's work in Ukraine and the opportunity to meet with our ORT professionals who are the true heroes of our network. My name is Susie Goldman, and I'm from Longmeadow, Massachusetts, and I'm honored to be a member of the board of directors of World ORT. Nearly 10 years ago, I was fortunate to visit Ukraine with a group of ORT leadership and connect with many impressive people in Odessa, Kyiv, and Belozerka. I remain in touch, and my heart breaks every morning as I hear the news of bombings, loss, and devastation. But what keeps me going is to drink my coffee in the morning with a mug that Mila gave me in Vilnius recently. As a as a trauma therapist, I recognize that the after effects of this war will persist for generations. As you're likely aware, World ORT is a global Jewish educational network that transforms lives through education in over 30 countries. Since 1880, our mission has been to educate the next generation of Jewish leaders. We are proud to have equipped young Jews with the quality education and Jewish identity to succeed, and we continue to impact over 250,000 individuals throughout our network. Since the full-scale invasion began in 2022, ORT has invested close to $5 million in Ukraine to protect, educate, and sustain thousands of students and teachers. Our work has centered on three urgent pillars: safety and security, education and well-being, basic needs and medical aid to individuals and families. As the war heads into its fifth year, we are facing new urgent challenges and building on the foundation we have established. With escalating hardship and need, it is so critical for us to stand in solidarity with our ORT Ukraine community and support their efforts. It is now my great pleasure to turn the meeting over to Dov Ben Shimon, our World ORT CEO. Toda rabah. Thank you.
Thank you, Suze. Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you again for joining us today. My name is Dov Ben Shimon, and I am proud to be the Chief Executive Officer of World ORT. We're so grateful to have so many of you here with us on this Zoom. As we gather here to talk about the current situation on the ground, let me in 30 seconds highlight some achievements that our community and donors and partners like you have made possible this past year. In this past year, ORT Ukraine has served over 7,000 students. They've installed energy generators in key schools in Kyiv and Belozerka. We've kept generators functional across the country, delivered hundreds and hundreds of psychological support sessions to over 2,000 ORT students and teachers and families, provided hundreds of teacher salary supplements so that we can retain high-quality educators, and thousands of students supported in Hebrew and Jewish students. We've distributed over 1,000 winter jackets and winter supply blankets, meals for hundreds of students in places like Chernivtsi, and fully equipped underground shelters and classrooms in Zaporozhye. That's not the whole list, but it's still an incredible life-saving list. And all of these life-saving interventions are necessary for us and for all Ukraine to achieve our mission, your mission, of educating for life. So we're honored to have with us three amazing professionals from ORT schools in Kyiv. Mila Finkelstein, the Chief Executive of ORT Ukraine, Irina Redko, the Deputy Principal and Head of Mental Health Programming at Lyceum 141 ORT in Kyiv, and Yulia Kachuk, the PR manager of Ort Ukraine and a Hebrew teacher at Lyceum 141 Ort in Kiev. And we're going to be asking them to share with us what life is like in Ukraine for students, teachers, and parents. So Mila, Irina, and Yulia, thank you for joining us today, and thank you for everything that you do. After over 1,500 days of war, schools in Ukraine remain on the front lines. They face trauma, power outages, physical danger every day. And our Ort schools, in which you serve as lifelines, safe shelters, community hubs, continuity of Jewish life and learning. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want to tell you, our audience, that you'll have a chance to ask questions on the panel, for the panel too. You can send them in the Q&A section or in the chat, and we'll get to as many of them as we can as we go through this session. So Mila, I'd like to start with you. Tell us what it's been like for the past 4 years and what keeps you motivated amidst the ongoing war.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mila Finkelstein. I work for Ort Ukraine more than 20 years. Speaking about your question, yes, today is 1562nd day of the war. It has been going on for more than 4 years now, and truly saying for all of us, these 4 years have felt like a lifetime. It is very difficult to answer this question when just 2 days ago, Kiev and Dnipro survived one of the most horrific shellings of the entire war. In just a few hours of massive shelling, Russia killed 23 Ukrainian civilians, including a young woman, a mother of 2 kids, aged 2 and 4 years, who was trying to save her kids, but did not make it to a shelter in time. As well as Russia killed 3 other children. At moments like this, I realize that we are holding on not only on faith, hope, and love, but also to some kind of inner anger, some kind of stubbornness. Since the full-scale invasion began, we have learned a lot how to survive in minus 30 degrees weather outside when we don't have in our flats basic comforts, water, electricity, and heating, to live one day at time because tomorrow can not come, to know different types of missiles and drones by their sounds, to rejoice in such simple things that your loved ones are alive and well. Our life priorities have completely changed. We don't think about what tomorrow will bring. We need to survive today. And personally, for me, for sure, our kids help me with this. They are our main driving force, keeping us alive, afloat, and making us think about the future. I want to add that it is very symbolic day when we speak about all of this today, June the 4th. This day, Ukraine observes the Day of Remembrance for children killed as a result of armed aggression of Russian Federation. This important date is intended to remind society of the innocent victims of the war and coincides with the International Day of Innocent Children Victims of Aggression established by United Nations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mila. Greta, thank you for your question. Yes, we are recording, and yes, you will be able to distribute. So thank you for that question. Yulia, I want to turn to you. You're the closest one of all of us to being a student. So tell us what it's like to be an Ort Ukraine student right now. Share with us some of the challenges that our students, Jewish students, non-Jewish students, the students in Ort Ukraine are facing right now.
Yes, thank you. Of course, Being a student at Art Ukraine means exactly excitedly telling your friends about your school and answering questions like, do you know Hebrew? Do you have robotics classes at school? Can you please say something in Hebrew? And it's really true. I know about what I'm telling you right now. And it's very cool because our students have the opportunity to study math, technology, robotics, and art at a high level while combining this with learning about their heritage. And the Jewish component is an integral part of the education process because students study Hebrew, the history of Jewish people, and learn about the history and traditions of Jewish holidays. And contests, competitions, and various events organized by World Art and Art Ukraine bring together children and teachers from different cities and even from different countries, transforming this formal educational community into warm and family-like one. And of course, the war has brought its own changes. Its effects of each of us in its own way. And for some children, a parent or relative is on the front lines. For others, a father is in captivity. For some, a loved one is missing in action. For others, a family member has returned with severe injuries or is still fighting for their life. It's very difficult for adults and, of course, for children. And at the same time, the shelling of Ukrainian cities continues. And in such conditions, school becomes a safe place. And of course, our schools of Art Ukraine, it's a safe place for children where despite everything, the bell rings, robotics classes continue, and Hanukkah is celebrated among classmates. And it's important to maintain a sense of normalcy for everyone involved in the educational process and to keep moving forward, even if it means running to a shelter in the middle of the lesson and continuing classes or holiday celebrations there.
Thank you. Mila, I want to go back to you. You and I have talked in the past about disruption and how much disruption is caused by the attacks and the air raid sirens and the warnings. Tell me what Ukraine and the schools have done to minimize the loss of learning that your students have experienced.
From the very first hours of the full-scale invasion, we felt the full support and help of World Order. My phone was literally red with a huge number of calls and messages offering all kinds of assistance and support. All our efforts were focused on ensuring our people had a place to live, food to eat, and necessary medications, and that our children could continue their education. What were we do? We found ourselves in a situation where about half of our children had gone to different countries and cities, and some of our teachers, alone together with their families, had done the same. Thanks to World Order Emergency Campaign, we were able to organize shelters wherever it's possible, provide children, teachers, and schools with everything necessary for any form of education, offer financial assistance to teachers and families affected by the war and facing difficult life circumstances, organize continuous psychological support for those who need it, and provide first aid course for high school students and teachers. We were also able to evacuate the Zaporizhia school, which is the most in the most dangerous conditions, to a safe location in Western Ukraine, and then set up for them classrooms in Zaporozhye. All our schools are provided with electricity even during blackouts, warm clothing, shelters, educational materials, supplies of food, water, and medicines in case of emergencies. To be fair, very few schools in Ukraine can boast such level of preparedness for various learning scenarios. It's obvious to say that due to the war, experts have noted a sharp decline in the quality of education. We are doing our best to counteract it. Our schools are like the islands of safety and happiness for children. We introduce new courses, celebrate Jewish holidays together, hold contests, and our children participate in various academic contests. So we can more, but we do a lot.
Thank you. You do. Let's say hello to Pravit, Irina. Hi, Pravit. Irina, let's talk a little bit about mental health. And I know that you are focused on this. We're going to do some translation, so this will be helpful for everybody. Irina, tell us about how you're addressing mental health trauma and the increased demand for services. Tell us about the causes of trauma as well as the therapies that you and ORT Ukraine provide.
Доброго дня. Мене звати Ірина.
Good afternoon, my name is Irina.
Я працюю в ліцеї ОРТ більше 20 років.
I have been working at Lyceum 141 ORT in Kyiv for over 20 years.
І є керівником психологічного проєкту.
And I am coordinator of psychological project.
Для подолання наслідків психологічних травм ми використовуємо комплексний підхід. Тобто поєднуємо індивідуальну та групову роботу з дітьми, батьками та педагогами.
To address the effects of psychological trauma, we use a comprehensive approach that combines individual and group work with children, parents, and educators.
Найчастіше учасники освітнього процесу звертаються до нас за допомогою через такі обставини. Це складні життєві обставини чи тобто наслідки війни. Серед запитів дітей це більше всього такі запити, як розлучення батьків, загибель одного з батьків, або переживання втрати когось близької людини. Складні взаємини в родині і труднощі адаптації тобто в таких умовах зараз, як ми живемо.
Most often, those involved in the educational process seek help due to difficult life circumstances and the consequences of war. And among the issues children face are parental divorce, the death of a parent, coping with the loss of a loved one, complex family relationship, and difficulties adapting to new living conditions.
Також дуже часто звертаються діти, які, тобто такі проблеми, як криза підліткового віку. Коли дитина не дуже впевнена в собі, занижена самооцінка, неприйняття критики батьків чи когось дорослих, і труднощі спілкування з однолітками, зрозуміло, та дорослими.
We often work with children who are going through the challenges of adolescence, lack of self-confidence, low self-esteem, difficulty accepting criticism, and trouble communicating with peers and adults.
Також ще окремою проблемою є надмірні вимоги батьків до дітей. І це приводить дуже часто до тривожності, до страху помилитися, невпевненості у собі та власних своїх емоціях.
Another issue is the excessive demands adults place on children, which often leads to increased anxiety, fear of making mistakes, lack of self-confidence, and emotional exhaustion.
Також є ще проблеми, такі ситуації, коли військовослужбовці, тобто батьки, повертаючись додому у відпустку, продовжують жити за законами війни. І це дуже впливає на емоційний склад дитини і потребує додаткової підтримки всієї родини.
We also encounter a situation where service members, upon returning home on leave, continue to live by the rules of war, and which can be emotionally difficult for children and requires additional support from the family.
Також останнім часом збільшилась кількість таких звернень, як пов'язаних з панічними атаками у дітей. Особливо у підлітків. Підвищена тривожність, порушення сну, труднощі концентрації уваги та емоційна нестабільність. Значна увага приділяється також адаптації учнів перших-п'ятих класів до освітнього середовища. Тобто формування їхніх розвиток, тобто навичок спілкування і формування почуття безпеки.
Recently, there has been an increase of in the number of cases involving panic attacks, heightened anxiety, sleep disturbances, and difficulty concentrating, and emotional instability. Significant attention is also being paid to helping first and fifth grade students adapt to their new educational environment, fostering a sense of security and developing their communication skills.
В своїй роботі ми дуже активно використовуємо арт-терапію, пісочну терапію, каскотерапію, ізотерапію, техніки на розвантаження, дихальні вправи, вправи на розвиток саморегуляції та стресостійкості і різні тілісно-орієнтовні практики, тобто творчі майстер-класи і розвиток творчості.
In our work, we actively use art therapy, sound play therapy, fairy tale therapy, esotherapy, work with metaphorical associative cards, emotional release techniques, breathing exercises to develop self-regulation and stress resilience, and body-oriented practices. Also, resource building exercise and creative workshops.
Для дітей молодшого віку є більш такі методики ігрові. Для підлітків більш підходять групові тренінги, вправи на розвиток самооцінки, комунікативних навичок та емоційного інтелекту.
For young children, game-based approaches are effective, while for teenagers, group training sessions and exercise designed to develop self-esteem, communication skills, and emotional intelligence are effective more.
Також хочу зазначити, що окрему увагу ми приділяємо і профілактиці професійного вигорання педагогів. Для вчителів проводяться дуже багато тренінгів, арт-терапевтичних майстер-класів, будь-яких ресурсних всяких зустрічей, заняття з елементами різної терапії, тобто там пісочна, ізо і практики відновлення внутрішнього ресурсу.
We place special emphasis on preventing teacher burnout. We offer teachers training sessions, art therapy workshops, support meetings and sessions incorporating elements of self-play therapy techniques for replenishing inner resources of teachers.
Також багато уваги приділяється роботі з батьками. Для батьків у нас працює батьківський клуб, де вони можуть отримати і психологічну підтримку, обмінятися досвідом між собою і знайти якісь шляхи подолання, тобто якихось життєвих ситуацій.
Also, there is a parents club, a special club for parents where they can receive emotional support, share their experiences, and find ways to cope with difficult situations.
Наш досвід показує, що психологічна підтримка – це основне і є невід'ємною складовою освітнього нашого процесу. Люди потребують безпечного простору, де їх можуть вислухати, допомогти знайти якісь вирішення, тобто внутрішні сили для подолання цих якихось труднощів.
Our experience shows that psychological support is an integral part of the educational process today, and people need a safe place where they can be listened to, supported, and help to find the inner strength to overcome all these challenges.
Yulia, I'm going to cut to the next just because I know we have a lot of questions. And Irina, Diakoyu, we're going to come back to you in a moment. With permission and apologies because we have so much that we want to cover. So I apologize. And I can't even say I apologize in Ukrainian, but I can say Dyakoyu. Yulia, but for now, tell us a bit about Jewish education and Jewish life in Ukraine. What's that like right now?
Okay, in Ukraine, we have 7 ORT Ukraine schools offer a Jewish studies program. And this program includes a mandatory study of Hebrew and the history of Jewish people. And Jewish education includes both formal and informal components. The formal component consists of Hebrew and history curricula officially approved by the Ministry of Education and Science of Ukraine. And the informal component includes additional activities such as holiday celebrations, the Jewish Theater Club, the Shabbat celebrations in classrooms, and our Hebrew and history teachers, to be true, do incredible work because despite the shortage of teachers, the heavy workload that comes with it, they prepare special lessons, competitions, contests, fairs, and workshops for students for all classes, different kinds for all classes. And for many students, studying at ORT Ukraine educational institutions is an opportunity to reconnect with their roots and culture. And it's important to serve us as a bridge in this context to support, to encourage, to inspire. And our teachers do more than anyone could imagine. Jewish education in Ukraine needs support, and despite everything, continues to grow.
Thank
you.
I want to just follow up with Ira for one more question for Irina about students with special education needs who are in ORT schools. And very briefly, again, apologies, we got a lot to cover. Can Ira tell us a little bit about students with special education needs? Ira. Yulia, do you want to just translate?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Я думаю, що ми можемо відповісти на це запитання про
Про
дітей
дітей з особливими
Yes, так.
дітей з особливими
Мгм.
У нашому закладі, в нашому ліцеї, значна увага приділяється створенню комфортного та безпечного освітнього середовища саме для дітей з особливими освітніми потребами, тому що в нас їх на сьогодні в ліцеї навчається 71 такий учень, і для них ми створюємо всі необхідні умови для навчання, розвитку та соціалізації.
At our high school, we place a strong emphasis on creating a comfortable and safe education environment for students with special educational needs. And currently, 71 students with special educational needs are enrolled at our high school, and we have created the necessary conditions for their learning, development, and socialization.
В нашому ліцеї функціонує 23 інклюзивні класи, і в кожному з цих класів працює ціла команда психолого-педагогічного супроводу. Це і вчитель, і соціальний педагог, і асистент вчителя, і практичний психолог.
A high school has 23 inclusive classrooms, each staffed by a team of psychologists and educational support professionals, a clinical psychologist, social educator, teaching assistant, and other educational staff.
Ми прагнемо забезпечити для кожної дитини індивідуальний підхід і підтримку, можливість повноцінно, щоб ця дитина повноцінно брала участь в освітньому процесі.
We strive to provide every child with personalized attention, support, and the opportunity to fully participate in the educational process.
Особливу роль в цьому, тобто в такому процесі освітньому належить практичному психологу. Він проводить індивідуальні консультації, корекційно-розвивальні заняття. Це можуть бути заняття і в парах, і в малих групах. Така форма спрямована на покращення взаєморозуміння між дітьми саме і формування навичок спілкування, розвитку емпатії, співпраці та побудови дружнісних стосунків як у шкільному середовищі, так і в майбутньому житті.
The school's psychologists play a key role in working with the students, conducting individual counseling sessions as well as remedial and developmental classes in pairs and in small groups, as well as in small groups. Yes, and this approach aims to improve mutual understanding among students, foster skills in friendly communications, develop empathy and cooperation, and build friendships both in the school environment and in their future lives.
Психолог в своїй роботі використовує сучасні методи, методики, техніки психологічної підтримки, такі як там арт-терапія, пісочна терапія, заняття з елементами психодрами, казкотерапія і будь-які ігрові терапії.
In her work, the psychologists use modern methods and techniques about we have told you a few seconds ago. Yes, sand therapy and others.
А для такого розвантаження, розвитку саморегуляції, щоб така атмосфера була більш затишна, використовує музичні інструменти, такі як глюкофон, дзвіночки та інші засоби музичні і іншої терапії, які допомагають дітям краще, тобто відчути свої емоції, знизити рівень напруги і розвити якісь навички контролю.
To help children release emotional tension, develop self-regulation, and create a supportive atmosphere during classes, we use also musical instruments, different musical instruments, and they very help children.
We're going to stop at this point because I know that some people have questions from the audience, and thank you for those of you who have sent in questions. Please keep them coming. You can send them to the Q&A. We have a couple more minutes. Some of you have already asked. Yes, we are recording. Yes, we will share with everybody who signed up a link to this recording afterwards, so you can watch this again, or you can share if you need to. Please feel free to. We encourage you to do so. While we're waiting for a few more questions, there is one question that's come in that I do want to ask any of you. Thank you, Mila. I wanted to see you back. Good. For any of you, feel free to answer. We are many of the audience here are from the US, from the UK, from Europe, from the Americas. Explain to us from a personal perspective what the war has been like for you personally.
For me, it is a tragedy. Just a tragedy of every single civilian. That's it.
Julia?
I agree with Mila that it's tragedy. I think that a lot of people, even today, can't realize what is happening.
Julia, can you ask Ira the same question and can you translate?
Так, Іра, як для вас, як от вплинула війна, як вам зараз жити ось в цих умовах?
Особисто. До мене особисто.
Так.
Зрозуміло, що ми вже до деяких обставин і звикли, але кожен обстріл вносить якісь свої переживання за дітей, за родину. Тобто тривожність ця, да, вона трошки зменшилась, але все ж таки нікуди не дівається.
We used to many things, but these new circumstances have brought new worries for our loved ones, of course.
Some people are asking on the chat, what keeps you hopeful? What gives you hope? And what motivates you every day? This is a hard question. What gives you hope and what motivates you?
Our kids, my daughter, all kids, all Ukrainian kids, those who will return to Ukraine after the war ends, those who live here every day. And we have to survive. That's it.
Thank you.
Our soldiers motivated me because I understand that if they continue to fight for my life, I need to continue live my life. And Mila said that her kids motivate her. I haven't kids, but I really want to have kids in Ukraine, and I really want to continue my life in Ukraine, and it motivated me.
Thank you. Can you ask Ira the question and translate?
Що вас мотивує продовжувати?
Продовжувати. Я працюю.
Жити.
Ну, по-перше, діти, мої онуки, бо я дуже багато з ними проводжу часу вихідних і хочу доставити їм ту радість життя, на жаль, якої вже більше 4 років вони маленькі, але більшу частину свого життя вони живуть вже в таких умовах. Тому намагаюсь на вихідні проводити з ними час, а в школі дійсно бути з дітьми, бути поруч, надавати радість їм життя. Все буде добре.
Irina has children and even grandchildren. It's a surprise even for me. And she spends a lot of time with them, and most big part of their life is war, and she wants they be happy, and she tries to spend more time with them.
Thank you. So listen, there is a concept in the Babylonian Talmud called Lamed Vav, that there are precisely at any point in our existence, Lamed Vav, 36 individuals who will save the world. So all of you watching, you've just met 3 of them. So now we have to find the other 33. But I just want you to understand, firstly, the logistics of putting together a Zoom, a simple Zoom with all the contingency planning is such a minor thing, but it has layers of implications because of the situation for Ukraine. So firstly, I just want to say to Mila, to Ira, to Yulia, our deep gratitude for joining us today, in addition to the life-saving, world-changing, impactful work that you do. Everybody, we're going to send you the link to today's briefing shortly so that you can have it and you can forward it to everybody else. Here's what I want you to know. Ort Ukraine is a lifeline for thousands of children whose lives have been disrupted. But that doesn't have to mean that their education and their future have to be ruined. Because of our funders, because of our supporters, because of our partners, we can keep schools open, we can protect students, we can retain teachers, we can ensure dignity and stability and hope even in these dark times. So we're asking each one of you to stand with Ort, to safeguard learning, safety, and Jewish continuity. If you want to make a gift to support this work, and we ask you to do so, you can follow the link in the chat, you can make a donation on our website, or you can connect with one of our local development professionals or through your Jewish Federation. We love you, Jewish Federations. Thank you for your partnership. And let me say finally, thank you to my colleagues. Thank you for the life-saving work that you do. And thank you to all of you for being here and for showing your support. Have a good, peaceful, safe day, everybody. Toda, spasiba, thank you.